show you how to finish and set one of these spear traps. You can make one of these and put it in a bug out bag. Easy to make. I showed you in the other video, it's just a tube with the bands on it, but you've got to make one bit in the woods. So what I've done, I've got a stick already. Now with this you could turn it into like an arrow, you could put a float on the end, you could harden this and sharpen it up, or you could put some sort of broad head point on it if you was going to try and hunt animals with it, or depending on what animal I mean. So what you'd first need to do, get yourself a stick, and the way I do it is I'll put any length, longer the better at first, put it in, hold it, and draw it back, and once you're about there, then cut it off, then you know that's about the right length. Now you need to put a notch in it to hold it back, so put this back in without the elastic on it, about there, so you've got about an inch sticking out the end, and here is where you're going to put your notch. So we know that now, we're holding that like that. And your notch is going to be for your peg to hold it back. Right, so that's the notch done. So this is going to be inside here. Notch is going to be past there. I'm going to have a square peg sitting across, and that's what holds it back. So what I'll do now, I'll put this somewhere against a tree or something. I'll show you the next bit. Like I said, what you could do with this, if you want to make this into like an arrow, put a tip on the end, put floats on the end. All you need to do at this end is just round it off. That's it, quite simple and easy to make. Easy to do in like a bug out situation or survival if you'd already made this and you've got some of these in your bag. I'll do the next bit. Well, what I'm going to do is I've got duct tape on me, and you might have this in a bug out bag. I'm going to use duct tape to attach it to this tree. Now, if you didn't have duct tape, you could use whatever, you know, tie it with a bit of string. So I suppose, depending on what kind of game you was aiming to get, would depend on how high you put this or whatever. But as this is just a demo, I'm just going to put it wherever. Right, that's enough duct tape, that should hold that pretty good. Now what you could do, because obviously that's sticking out quite bright, it's white, you would cover the entire thing in black duct tape or spray paint it, camouflage or whatever. I'll leave it like that so you get the gist of it though. You see it clearer that way. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to rig up a trip line, go from this tree, round that one to that one there. And what you'd do is, if you didn't want them walking through this part of it, you'd block it off with sticks or whatever so they can't get through it. What I do now is get your square peg, tie a bit of string to it. Measure your string in advance. You'll know it will go round the trees or whatever you're going to use as your trip line, for guiding the trip line. Now just by pure chance there's like a load of trees here in a square. If you haven't got that, what you'll need to do is just cut stakes and put them in the ground as a guide. You've probably seen it on other videos I've done anyway. So what I'm going to do now, so I'm just going to fold this bit of elastic over the front. I'll do a close up of this, and just hold that peg in place with it. Now all this is going to do, this is so I can put that peg there, I know where it's got to go, and I can feed the trip line round and tie it where it's meant to go. Because what you don't want to do, because this is quite sensitive, is be having the spear pulled back while you're trying to do the trip line, because you'll only shoot yourself with it. You want the trip line to be in place, then put your peg there. So I'm going to take the trip line from the spear to this tree, along that tree and back round to that one over there. Like I said, the only reason I do it this way is I know I guarantee you won't shoot myself. So it's going from there, from that one, round this one, round to this one, back that one. If you haven't got these, you'll have to put pegs in this position. Or it might have been better, well no, that's where the spear's pointing to through there. I was going to say take it to that other tree, but then you'd only need to block that bit off anyway. All I've done now is with a little bit of the duct tape, just put a little rubbishy duct tape flight on it. Obviously in a swell situation you might want to do these things a bit better, but you just get the gist of it. And I've got the heavier end at the front end. And like I said earlier on, if this was a real swell situation, you're going to either want to harden this, do it to a good point, or put some sort of broadhead point on it or something. I'll show you how you set it now. Right, that's it set. So, as you can see, the elastic is round the back of the spear or arrow. This is where it might pay if you was going to use this a lot to put a pouch on there or a bit of string, because after a while that's going to start to dig in. 1 or 2 times it'll be alright, or maybe more. It will eventually start digging in unless you've really smoothed that end off. But like I said, a simple way to do that is either put a bit of string or a pouch on it. There's a close up of how that's going to work. And in between the 2 trees there's a tripwire. Alright, I'll set it off from a few different positions. After that first shot, I think what I need to do is I've just made the flights smaller, they was really catching on the tube, and this may need to be made lighter as well. So I'm going to lighten this down a bit, and I'm going to try it again. I'm just going to shave a bit off of it. I've lightened up the arrow, but the other method to this would be, instead of lightening the arrow, double up your bands. The only thing is, that's already set up, so I don't want to start putting more bands on it now. But that's what you do, you just put more bands on it, and that'll give it a bit more strength. But what I've done with mine, just for now, is I've lightened the arrow up. Just a word of warning that when I'm setting this off, I'm standing to the side, I'm not standing directly in front of it. So if you're going to practice something like this, don't stand in the middle there, directly in line with it, pulling it, pull your side one. It still gives the same effect, you still know if it works, but just pull the side one rather than the front one. If you think about it, this one is just a small thin arrow with single bands on the tube. If you did double or triple bands with a pouch on the end, worked this a bit better, broadhead on the end, I reckon with triple bands you'd get a lot of power out of that. I've seen people using triple bands on sling bows and stuff and get things like 40-pound draw weight on them. So with this, if it's all set up right, might need to be made slightly better than this, but you get the idea. You could make something like this, put it in a bug out bag, and then you've got ready-made spear traps for trapping larger game or even small game. Right, so that ready made in your bug out bag. Make your spear, which is just simply your stick and a square notch on it. Put a head on it, whatever, flight on it. You don't need to do much to this end, just round it off. And once with that, ready made spear trap, put them in your bug out bag. Much quicker now to set it all up and do it while you're out there. Make that ready. A nice pretty easy way of doing it. Anyway, cheers for watching. I'll see you later.